How about another recipe with black beans? This time I remembered to soak them. This is going to be a little spicy, mainly because I'm using chorizo and a little jalapeno pepper. So it might be too spicy for some people. We'll see. The beef, I dice the beef up in little pieces just like the chorizo, and use any kind of beef you want. You could put a steak in there, you could put stew meat, whatever you like. It doesn't really matter because it's going to all be cooked with the beans. So it's going to come out soft no matter what cut of beef it is. And the garlic, small diced celery, green pepper, onions, and at the very end, after all is said and done, when we serve it, we'll toss in some scallions and of course cilantro. Now I'm going to saute this and then put it into this pot with a tight lid and simmer it. Why? Because even with a high flame on this, when I put the meat, chorizo, and all the vegetables, they're going to like steam, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to put a wide, nice large skillet there just for that purpose. And then when I'm done with that, pour a little water in there, like to deglaze it, and put everything into this pot. And you could cut all the vegetables up the day before. I'm getting this skillet hot first, high flame, and the chorizo has a lot of fat. So I'm going to use a little bit of your favorite oil. That's all. Chorizo in there with the beef, get a little color. Draw out the flavor a little bit. Sprinkle a little salt and pepper. Or maybe just a little salt, since we have all that spice in there already. And we'll take a tablespoon of salt and have it ready. Use sea salt, kosher salt, whatever you like, whatever you have on hand. Actually, this is not going to be a long video, because once everything is in there, I'm going to check it after an hour and a half at a low simmer and make sure the liquid is covering the beans. And now we got a nice high flame. And I do want to get a little color on this. Put the chorizo and the beef. And in just a couple of minutes, I'll be adding everything else. See, that smells good already. See, that's why you need a large surface area to do this in. Or you'd have to be doing it at little handfuls at a time in a smaller pot to keep it from like steaming. If you notice, this is nice and dry and I'm able to get the color that I want. Now when I add the vegetables, of course the vegetables have a lot of water content. And that liquid will come out, which is good. It'll deglaze this. And if it doesn't deglaze it enough, I'm going to put a quart of liquid after I put this into the other pot, all these solid ingredients. I'll just put a quart of water in here, or if you want to use chicken stock, beef stock, vegetable stock, it's up to you. I'm using water because I have a lot of flavor in everything that's here. And I'm not putting any kind of herbs in here. I could put thyme in there if I wanted to, oregano, basil, but the flavor of everything and the cilantro at the end, I think it's good enough for me. But everybody has their own preferences, so you can do whatever you wish. What I'm just showing you is a technique to put this together. Now look how quickly that meat kind of browns, and it smells like it was put on the grill outside because of the high heat. That's good enough on that. Now we'll add the rest, except for the cilantro, of course, and the scallions. Now this is going to give off a great aroma. And we'll throw in that, seems like a lot, tablespoon of salt. Not really. It goes a long way. But what I will put in there is a couple of bay leaves. That's if I can find them. So. About another minute on this. I know I have the bay leaves. I can't look for them at this moment. If you notice, the sizzling kind of stopped. Even though it's still doing a good job. Going to leave it cook like this for another 2 minutes. Okay, well, 2 minutes have passed, and I'm looking at what my plan was to put everything in here. The beans, and they're going to expand, and you know what, we're going to just stay right in this pot right here. So the beans, and now you want to measure the amount of liquid because sometimes you don't put enough, sometimes you put too much. So we're going to put cold water in there, or your hot stock. Now everybody, sure, the size of the flame and how high you're going to be cooking this, that is 1 quart. So we're going to leave it like that for a little while, and then we're going to check it out in about 45 minutes just to make sure. This is going to come to a boil. As soon as it comes to a boil, I cut it down to the lowest flame, cover it, and say I'll be back in 45 minutes just to look at you. Well, it's been about 45 to 50 minutes. As you can see, the water level is down. Have to keep those beans covered. So I'm adding another quart of water or stock. Well, it was a good thing I used this pan because the other one would have been too small anyway. We'll come back in another half hour and check it out. Okay, it's been like 2 hours plus. Everything is soft, the beans. Now you have a choice to make how you want to eat this. You leave it loose like this and don't touch anything, or you smash some of the beans to make it more pasty. And or you just take this, cool it off, put it in the refrigerator, and have it tomorrow, and it will be thicker anyway. But since I'm having this tonight, I'm going to smash some and just cook it down a little bit more. See, this way it's like a soup, and I don't want a soup. I want beans pasty, stuck together. So we just break them. And you'll see after they open up a little, then this will become thicker as we reduce the liquid also. So if you have too much liquid, it can be corrected by reducing it. If you don't have enough liquid, you just have to add more. So either way, when you're cooking with beans, it should always come out good. And I tasted this for the pepperiness. And for the salt. Well, of course, you know there's salt in the chorizo. So that's in there also besides the 1 tablespoon. So this has a nice flavor. That's enough. And it's got a slight bite going down. I can feel the heat from the chorizo and the jalapeno. But if you really like it hot, spicy hot, then double up on the jalapeno, and you might even add some hot sauce when it's all said and done. Anyway, the flavor is nice to have that beef and the chorizo in there. It really doesn't need a stock. Oh, then I'm going to have people say, you should have a stock. It'll make it even tastier. Yes, it would. The individual preference. Like I said, this is only a technique used to make the beans by sauteing the vegetables first. Nice high heat, get more flavor out of them. You get that like grilled taste a little bit. And we'll just let this reduce like this for about 10 minutes. Then I'll take a look at it again. And I think by that time we'll be pretty good. Now we have a nice pot of beans. Notice the consistency now? That's perfect. And then if you refrigerate this just the way it is, tomorrow when you take it out, it'll be even thicker. Cook up some of your favorite rice and have it with this. Oh, we forgot 2 items now. I'm going to add the cilantro. And the scallions you can either put on top when you serve it, since I'm eating it now, it's okay. Little bit of that flavor will get in there better with the heat. Could have put some red pepper in there for color too. Anyway, there you go. Let me see. That looks good. That looks very nice. And the taste, because before I didn't have the cilantro in it. I almost forgot to put it in. Well, one thing for sure, my wife's gonna like it when she comes home, and it's not too hot for her. Me, I would make it a little more spicy. Double up on a jalapeno, maybe a little hot sauce on top of that, but this came out good. And the 1 teaspoon of salt and the salt that's in the chorizo is enough seasoning. How much you got here? There's a nice spoonful, 3 of those per person, 4 people. Enjoy.